Hey there, this video is from moviemadjack. Excuse me. Posted some questions on my Q&A. Hey man, congrats on getting 500 subscribers. It's a real landmark. Thank you very much. And we hear the questions for you, sir. What is your favorite place in America that you have been to or haven't been to? Can't say Chicago. Darn. No. Actually, someone asked me something similar. Well, they asked me about world locations, but I haven't really been around the world a lot. I've been in different places in America, but I don't travel much. New York is where a good friend of mine lives. I've been out there every couple of years or so to see him. My dad lives in Florida. That's really nice. Really hot in the summertime though, and so bright. I would recommend going in either the spring or the fall instead. Arizona is where my grandmother lived for many years. That's very nice. San Francisco is a place I've been to a couple times. I really liked it then. There are a number of places I haven't been, of course, but can't think of any off the top of my head. St. Louis, I've been there, but just a couple of times. I'd have to say that San Francisco is a lot of fun, and New York. Those are probably the good ones right there. Been to Denver. Wouldn't mind going to Seattle at some point. I just don't know exactly what there is to see there. I just understand it's like, culturally very cool. Favorite 80s musical artists? 80s. Now, does that mean people who were big in the 80s only, or people who just got started in the 80s? Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't have to actually answer that. I was just thinking out loud. Well, let's see. Since I developed a lot of sort of radio interests and pop music in the 80s, I guess Huey Lewis and the News was one of my favorite groups then. But looking back on some of the music that came out that I didn't get into at that time, but later, the Eagles. I was really big into the Eagles, some of their output back then. There's a lot of pop acts that I knew of. Michael Jackson, for example, I had like 2 of his albums. And, when he was big on Thriller, everyone just, adored him. And I thought it was great, too. I practiced a lot of his dance moves. And then later on, I began to realize that he was a little too strange. Who else? Phil Collins was, the lead singer for Genesis for a while. And I sort of was into his Genesis work. What I didn't learn until later is that Peter Gabriel was the former lead singer for Genesis, which was cool because Peter Gabriel is actually a guy I like quite a bit. His album So is a favorite of mine. So, S-O, has a lot of favorite songs of mine, of his on there. Who else? I got more into female artists in the 90s. I guess I would have considered Wussy to be a fan of someone who was a woman singer in the 80s. I don't know why, Madonna was someone I was never really into at that time. She was very, very popular then. But I just, kind of wanted to stay away from her because she seemed slutty. She seemed slutty to me in my own little naive way. Who else? I don't know. Those are the key ones right there. I had some albums, but I think probably the most influential artist of the 80s, for me personally, was Weird Al Yankovic. He made fun of everyone, and he was great at it. He was very clever. He sang in a way where you could understand the words, which is very crucial, of course, to getting the humor. I have had, at one point or another, every single one of his albums. So, except for Alapalooza. Never really liked that album. There's only one good song on Alapalooza, and that's Traffic Jam. Next question. Did you enjoy whilst you were there? That's probably referring to the earlier question. Did you enjoy whilst you were there? Or is that referring to one of the later questions? I'm not sure. But yes, in terms of like the places I visited, of course, yeah, I understand. Especially if you know someone that you're close with, friends, family, whatever. I've enjoyed Florida and San Francisco, New York a couple of times. So. Yeah, they're great. Are you a fan of Tarantino's work, and if so, are you looking forward to Django Unchained? Actually, no, I've never really been into Tarantino that much, and so Django Unchained is really not that high on my anticipated list. I am, of course, kidding. I love Quentin Tarantino. He is great, but he's never reached, for me, the excellence of Reservoir Dogs. I always felt that Reservoir Dogs was his best movie, and all the other ones are just too long, just overly indulgent. As a matter of fact, the guy sucks as a director. No, I'm joking. He's really good. I wish he'd restrain himself a little bit, but I look forward to everything that he does, everything. Yes, very much looking for Django Unchained. And perhaps you didn't get the memo, but I'll be doing a director's series in December on Quentin Tarantino. I'll be talking about every single one of his movies, including Django Unchained, which comes out on Christmas Day, which is a Tuesday. And the day after that, I'll be seeing the film, and then the day after that, I'll be posting a review. So, favorite and least favorite directors. Ooh, I love this question. I have many favorite directors, but if I had to pick just one, David Fincher. If I had to pick just one least favorite director, that's not easy either, but the quickest answer for me is Michael Bay. Really not big on Michael Bay at all. Pretty bad guy. So I think that is it. I'm sorry, my computer is reacting a little slowly here. Yes, those are all the questions. Thank you very much, Movie Mad Jack. Appreciate it. Hope you found this interesting. And thanks very much for watching.